let's talk about the How to Train Your Dragon live-action remake. On the rugged Isle of Berk, where Vikings and dragons have been bitter enemies for generations, Hiccup stands apart from that all as he breaks tradition and becomes friends with Toothless, a feared Night Fury dragon. Their unlikely bond reveals the true nature of the dragons, challenging the very foundation of Viking society. And with this film, it is pretty much the same thing like the animated film, but a majority of this review is going to be the film as its own thing. And with how this film is, I thought it was great. How everything looked was amazing. But with this film, it does star Mason Thames as Hiccup, and I thought he did perfect as Hiccup. He was Hiccup ripped right out of the animated movie. And with how Hiccup is in this, he is very likable, very relatable, awkward, and I do believe that Mason did a perfect job portraying him. We also do get Nico Parker as Astrid, and she did a perfect job as Astrid, once again ripped right out of the animated movie. And like I said, she was just great in this film. She is Astrid. We also do get Gerard Butler reprising his role from the animated movie as he is stoic, Hiccup's dad, and I do believe that he did a great job portraying him in live action. And it was great to see him play a live action version of his character. And with the rest of the cast from Nick Frost, Julian Dennison, and I have to say, I thought that everyone was great in this. They all did a perfect job portraying live action versions of their characters. Most of them felt like their characters ripped right out of the animated movie. And with this film, the special effects, like 99% of the time, it looked amazing. How the dragons looked, how Toothless looked, it all looked perfect. There were like some shots, not of the dragons, but some shots in general. It's like, okay, yeah, the green screen doesn't really look too great. But besides that, it all looked great for the most part. From the flying scenes, the scenes with Toothless and Hiccup bonding with one another, I thought that all that was great. I thought it was just great to see all that in live action. Toothless, he is still the GOAT, and it was great to see him in live action, well, CGI live action, bonding with Hiccup. And with this film, it is mostly a shot-to-shot remake of the animated film, and I was fine with that. Because with this film, it does capture the heart and soul of the original animated movie. Then again, we did get the original director back, Dean DeBlois, and I got to admit, I do find how he approached this film very interesting. Because he claimed that with this film, there were stuff that they were wanting to do in the original animated film that they weren't able to do that they did with this film. As we do get more to the characters. Characters don't feel one-dimensional. It just feels like there's like a lot more going on with some of the characters and just how scenes play out a bit differently. It worked. How Dean DeBlois approached that worked. So with this film, it does have a bit more than the animated movie, but at the same time, it worked. And in my opinion, how this film stands compared to the animated movie, I think they're about the same. They're both really great films that introduces like this world of Vikings and dragons. One in animated form and one in live action form, and I do believe that it just worked perfectly well. Because we are getting a How to Train Your Dragon 2 in 2027. And I can't lie, there are some scenes in that I can't wait to see how they play it off in live action. But like with this film, it does have a lot of amazing stuff. From the score, as John Powell comes back to score it, the fight sequences, the battle sequences, how all the dragons looked, how Toothless looked, the bond between Hiccup and Toothless, the dynamic between Hiccup and Astrid. I do believe that it did all that perfectly well. It just captures the magic of the original film. And I do believe that this is something that other live-action remakes should take note of. Overall, How to Train Your Dragon was a great live-action remake that captures the heart and soul of the original animated movie. It has a great cast, great characters, and the dragons were great. Toothless is still the GOAT. And I can't wait to see what they do with How to Train Your Dragon 2 in live action. I really enjoyed this film, but what are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments below, and follow me for more.